What Carrie forgot to tell you, those of you who work out in the morning, get a cool boot camp workout shirt. So it has our hashtag, and of course, the folks at Higher Gear were so nice to sponsor the event. So this is a really nice, high-quality workout shirt. So we'll fit everyone in the morning when they come down tomorrow morning. Now, I know after tonight, some of you may have a hard time getting up at 6:30. I know that's why you were a little worried about, committing to the wristband. But I'll tell you that it is really important to move in the morning, get your body working. And a few years ago, I changed my lifestyle to make sure that most mornings that I dedicate the first hour of the day for some type of fitness, walking, running, exercise, and it's really been a great change for me. So come out tomorrow morning. If we haven't connected before online, please do so. I post a lot of content throughout the year, multiple articles each week, normally on one channel or another. So if you're following me on Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, you will see that I'm not shy about sharing things. Today, we went out to test cheesesteaks. Did anybody see the cheesesteak videos on Facebook? Some of you have. So we went to Pat's and Gino's, and Karen, we actually drove by you. We saw you. And so we came down a few weeks ago when we went to Tony Luke's and had a sandwich, and I thought that was really good. And then today we went to Pat's and Gino's, and of the two, I like Pat's better. But I think Tony Luke's still could be the best. So there's still a few more that we have to try here in the Philadelphia area. If you're going to take either of these two workshops that I'll be giving tomorrow, if you have your Google Analytics login and would like to be part of a live demonstration in class, you could just write that down or email it to me and say, hey, I don't mind using my dealership as an example. By doing that, it allows people in the classroom to actually see working with real data, and the idea of the boot camp is really hands-on learning. So if anybody is going to either one of those two and has your workshop analytics, that'd be great. If you don't know me, there's a couple little bullet points there. Tracy Myers here in the room. Tracy last year said, hey, Brian, let's get 15 industry experts together, put together a book, and we came out with Unfair Advantage. And still today, it's the only book that is a comprehensive guide to today's dealership operations in a digital age, talking about everything from traditional media and branding and direct mail, social media, SEO, Google AdWords, hiring, training, management, all in one book. So if you haven't picked it up, it's available on Amazon.com. Also proud, this past year we put out a book. Mark McGurran joined our team, heading up our BDC and internet process, and we have copies of this book also at our exhibit booth. But this book was designed to talk about internet lead handling strategies and the bigger picture on how to make sure your dealership is converting over 20% of your internet leads on a consistent basis. And if you're struggling in that area, this may be a good book for you to read. Also been proud in the last year with ROI Bot, which is the first single login executive dashboard to allow you to have access to all your data. So I've been really excited about those opportunities in the last year since boot camp. And for the first time, we'll talk today and this week on a special partnership with Google Wildfire. Google bought Wildfire last year. They're a social media platform, and PCG is partnering with Google Wildfire on a very special social media pilot starting on June 1st. So that's what's new with me. But most importantly, I want to invest in you for this next hour. I want to make sure that you understand the opportunities you have over the next 3 days to create a custom blueprint for success at your dealership. I use this slide many times when I speak because it represents today's reality. Dealers are spending money on stimulus, radio, TV, print, direct mail. billboards, bumper stickers, whatever it is, sponsorship of local community events, that stimulus matched with the stimulus from the OEMs in Tier 2 about vehicles and pricing and new models are driving people not directly to the dealership, but really to the internet to research price, performance, styling, to check dealership reviews, to see what their friends have to say about products. And it's this zero moment of truth, which Google defined last year, that I've talked a lot about because this is where dealers are winning or losing consumer engagement. And once consumers are done investing in that zero moment of truth, and Google says on average they're visiting 18 different websites before they get to you as far as a lead, meaning a phone call, a lead submission, or showroom up. And in the 18 to 35 bracket, they're visiting 25 websites before they contact you. Equal research last year at the Google Automotive conference said that 18 to 35-year-old people are less brand loyal. They're going into the market with 4 brands in mind. 4. So when someone contacts you, what Google calls the first moment of truth, we have a lot of moving parts now. We have a consumer who's very educated. We have a challenge at the dealership answering phones properly. We have a challenge at the dealership using our CRM, logging opportunities. We have a challenge at the dealership delivering emails. We have a challenge in differentiating our dealership from the next. One of the most stunning questions that cannot be answered almost every single time when I visit a dealership is, why buy from you? I do it every time I go into a dealership group. Why should we buy? And I go in front of a whiteboard, and they give me all the reasons. And when we list all the reasons, on average, 80% of them are crossed out because every dealership in the market is saying the same thing. What are some of those suggestions? We have great service. We have great prices. We treat people nicely. Can every dealer say that? So in the first moment of truth, when consumers are less brand loyal, they're shopping more websites, they're more informed, what is our message? What is the why buy from us in that first moment of truth? And then if we convince them to come and visit our dealership, we can't win them all, but we can't lose them because we bait and switch. So we can't lose a sale because of bait and switch tactics or being rude or impolite, because that piles up negative reviews for the next person who goes into zero moment of truth. But if we do win that sale, what is our service department doing to maintain that customer loyalty? Someone said once, when someone purchases a car, they're 100% loyal to your dealership. It's what the service department and our follow-up post-sales does to erode that loyalty to our dealership. This is our ecosystem that we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. And the boot camp has answers for each one of those areas on this ecosystem. As I went through this cycle, some of you might be thinking, well, Brian, in the zero moment of truth, we're not that strong. My dealership doesn't really invest in digital. Or Brian, at the first moment of truth, man, I've listened to some of our recorded phone calls, and they're pretty horrible. And Brian, at that first moment of truth, I believe folks like Kendall Billman who say 41% of customers surveyed said that the dealership never contacted them. Why? Not that the dealership didn't attempt to contact them, but through poor email delivery rates and poor phone follow-up processes. And we know that sometimes things go wrong in the dealership, but most of the time they're going right. But man, we're having a really hard time to get consumers to post a review online or to really share their experience after the sale with local consumers. This is the ecosystem we live in, and this conference has the answers for you. So I'd like to ask you, what is the low-hanging fruit in your dealership? Need some audience participation. What is one area in the dealership you're struggling with that you came to boot camp to get some assistance with? Who wants to start it off? What's that? Equity mining, okay? Using the service drive, for example, to prepare someone in the service drive to get them into a new vehicle, show them, hey, we'd like to purchase your car for this, and we'd like to get you in a vehicle that, well, guess what, is a lower payment. We have people selling 30, 40 cars in small dealerships, not mega groups, out of the service drive using equity mining tools. Who else came to boot camp to help with what? You were just bored for 3 days. What's that? Internet process. Great. Specifically, anything in specific about the internet process that you'd like to get help with? Okay. Great. So getting in touch with people from the internet leads that you have. Great. What else? What are some of the challenges at your dealership? Video. Specifically? Great. Video engagement. We're going to be definitely talking about that. And did Ken Beam get down here yet, or is he just coming tomorrow? Yeah, wait till you meet Ken Beam from the Douglas Auto Group in New Jersey. He's a video superstar, and we have a great workshop that Ken and I are going to be doing on video marketing strategies. What other things are people here in the room challenged with? They want to make their dealership better. You mean you're not 100% sure it's perfect? Everyone else, see, no one else brought that up because no one else. Does anybody else have that problem? Not sure if your marketing budget. You've heard that joke, right? I know 50% of my marketing budget is working perfectly. I just don't know which 50%. This is a common challenge. So let me go through some opportunities. If you asked me, Brian, what is your top 10 things that people should be focusing on to really bring their dealership to the next level? There may be some dealers in here, aside from the fact that the economy is doing better, that you may be stuck in a sales rut. You know, we're in that level. Well, Brian, we're selling 100 cars or 110, it's in there, but I really need to get to 150 or 200. Well, when I talk about these checklist items, these are opportunities for you to think about. Investing in people, leadership and management skills. I don't know about you, but if you've worked at multiple dealers, or even if you're a dealer principal, would you agree with me that we have a leadership and management challenge at the automotive retail level? Yeah? Not everyone wants to raise their hand. Their boss is next to them. I walk in, and people really don't know how to hold their teams accountable in a digital age. I have dealer principals and general managers that don't know how to read internet reports, vendor reports, yet they're spending $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 a month in marketing their dealership. We have CRM systems that no one's using or barely using, that no one's inspecting, yet when the right processes are in place, we see at least a doubling of appointment rates on a consistent basis. Investing in leadership and management skills. One of the things that happens all the time, right, is we tell people what to do, we expect them to do it, and they don't do it, and we get in this rut. Well, that person won't change. That person won't follow. We have to have separate processes for this group of people and separate processes for other. Well, we have some great workshops here at Boot Camp. You could read them off. If your dealership is struggling with management issues and looking for some help with management and understanding the changes in just personalities and people today, or the fundamental changes that are going through our industry, here are some workshops. And we also have Tracy Myers, who's a dealer principal and just an outstanding speaker, and someone who has really done some innovative things in his dealership, which takes leadership, right, Tracy? Tracy decided to do things that no one else wanted to do, but that was okay. And when you hear Tracy's story, if you're looking for some inspiration about doing things differently in far management of your business, there's great workshops for that. How many of you are utilizing your CRM system to its fullest potential? How many of you will admit that you're barely using your CRM system at the dealership? Barely using it. Great. I'm glad we have some honest people. For the people who said, if somebody, I'm not putting anybody in the spot, but somebody who said, we're barely using our CRM system, can you please tell me why? What's that? Don't know enough about it, okay? So maybe a training issue. What else? Not holding people accountable. Is that a leadership problem or a CRM problem? Okay, what else? Why, anybody who's not really using their CRM, what's the stumbling block? Okay, so we have aging sales staff that don't want to use it. Is that a CRM problem? It's a CRM problem. That's right. So the question is are CRM systems too complicated? That's another issue. So it's a valid point that some CRM systems look like an airplane cockpit. Is that true? And it's like, what are all these options? We know that a salesman's role or job is pretty well defined. But do they need 10,000 menu choices? They really don't. So there is some issue there. I want to tell you that one of the best pleasures I've had in this past year when we brought Mark McGurn in as a partner consulting team, and we're going around from very large public organizations to single stores, helping them really create a culture, a CRM-centric culture. And undoubtedly, those stores are seeing a 30 or 40% increase in sales in spending the same amount of money. Now think about that. Now you do your own math of what the cost of not using your CRM and technology is. You could say it's people or training or whatever, but if you're willing to stroke $500,000, $1 million, $2 million and say, I don't need that this year, or I would like that $2 million and I'll get my dealership CRM-centric, well, this is a decision for you to make. So to that degree, we have a lot of CRM-related workshops here at Boot Camp. You'll see them here. Bill Whitmire from eLeads, Joni Stuker, who is independent consultant, Meryl Shaw, Glenn and Mark, and Keith Shetterly from Car Research XRM, Bruce Thompson from Red Bumper, Kendall Billman from Ava. We have lots of workshops on CRM. Ladies and gentlemen, as I travel the country, probably the biggest opportunity, it's not Google AdWords or social media or the latest shiny object, but our fundamental two things that are broken is leadership and CRM utilization. And when dealers admit that they need help and they just really are having troubles leading, managing, and trading, and holding people accountable, it's amazing what happens after a few months of help. The people that are conducting these workshops today will help you in that area. How many people are unhappy with their website platform? That's good. Most of you are. Should I ask that question one more time? How many people are unhappy with their website platform? All the website vendors are writing down your names right now. They asked me to do that for $5. You know what? Honestly, today, many of the website platforms have raised the bar so that basic functionality that was once a differentiation between website companies is no longer a huge differentiator. But you know what's a big differentiator? Support. Would you agree with me that the biggest disappointment you may be having, not that your website, doesn't show vehicles or searches properly, but getting changes or fixes done are almost impossible? Does anybody feel like that support really could get better in our website industry? The other thing that I get angry about is that as websites evolve, some websites that used to work start to break. In particular, I've been writing about a simple way for you to see if your website platform is SEO compliant. And it was amazing the number of phone calls I got and said, Brian, I did what you told me to do to test whether this website platform is compliant, and it's not. I have, 900 pages that have duplicate page titles. I'm like, get it fixed. And if you're looking for really good strategies for website optimization, for website merchandising, we have some great workshops here. So Ali from Dealer Ron and Julie Chisholm from Cavender Toyota, Yago from PGI, David Page from Dealer eProcess, Ali Mendola from Dealer Trek Technologies. Really, really great opportunities. Digital advertising. How many in the room are using Google AdWords? Google AdWords, doing paid search. Most of you are. Is there anybody wondering if it's really working? Anybody wondering if those thousands of dollars we're spending on AdWords is really working? Do you really know if it's working? Some people say, yes, I know. Anybody feel like I'm not sure if I know if it's really working? Right. So obviously, we have 100%, almost nearly 100% people that are confident that their digital advertising is working perfectly. Guess what? 90% of the time, it's not. So if you do not know, or you do not know how to inspect, or you do not know what to expect, you can't allow the $2,000 to $3,000 to $5,000 to $8,000 a month on digital advertising to go uninspected. So to that degree, we have some great workshops on digital advertising strategies, inspecting your digital spend. Jim Flint does a great workshop on trying to make sense of what is the ROI figure. How do we know when our digital spend is too much? How do we know we're spending too much on digital? I'll be doing some workshops on a more analytical nature. How do I really dig in to see if my advertising campaigns are working, and what numbers should I be looking at? Do we have any fixed ops directors here? Any fixed ops directors? 1, 2. The fact that fixed ops people don't come to digital conferences is probably the third biggest loss. Remember I said leadership and CRM utilization. Somehow the fixed ops people got left out of the conversation. We're going to a digital conference. No need to invite the guy who supervises our most profitable area of the business that sustains us when the economy goes ups and down. No need to get that guy to come in who sees, on average, 10 times more people a month than we do in sales. No need, because people who service their car really don't use the internet. They don't use social media. They don't read email. No, they didn't do any of that. We just sold them the car. They know they're going to come in for service. It is amazing. The last few months, I've been sitting down with fixed ops directors specifically and asking them, what are you doing to market the business? So let me ask you, what are you doing at your dealership to market fixed ops? What are you doing? You should know. You have a service BDC, great. And so the service BDC is calling outbound and inbound. What are we doing for marketing? Okay, and how are we doing that? Great, so you're doing direct mail? Yes, doing direct mail? Okay. And doing any digital advertising? Okay, service website, great, love that. Anybody else as creative as that? Most what I hear is like, we use DME, we do direct mail. Every once in a while, we'll do this special promo thing. We get a company that buys this list. We just give the fixed ops guy a few $1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you that there's been a real big breakthrough, and Jim Flint and I will be talking about it, but Facebook just mapped 50% of car owners in the United States with their Facebook profile and what car they're driving. So what year, make, and model of car that they own. Now, you know how many hours people spend in front of Facebook, don't you? Do you imagine if you were maybe in a truck market? I was just out in Montana, for example. Big truck market, 70% of their vehicle sales are trucks. To be able to say, I want to target truck owners that have cars 2 to 3 years old in a 50-mile radius around my dealership and target them with specific ads that would be service-related, what a 2 or 3-year-old truck needed to have. You can do conquest. You can do accessories. It's amazing. They partnered with Polk to do that. It is amazing what you can do when you know the person's age, how much they spent for a car, how old it is, whether they're in market or aftermarket, whether they're an accessories buyer or not. All today, new opportunities. So we have some workshops here. Julie Chisholm's workshop, she's from Cavener Toyota. She basically stopped all traditional media for fixed ops, went all digital, and she was able to convince her dealer principal to build another service facility. She outgrew her service facility on an aggressive 360 digital campaign. You'll learn a lot about that. Peter Martin talking about email marketing. Justin Brune and Ben Kohler, originally from the Acton Toyota team in Massachusetts, built their own agency now to help car dealers, and again, focusing on fixed ops. Don Reed about service absorption. Andrew Barter talking about customer retention. If any of you work for dealerships locally, listen to me carefully. Bring your fixed ops director here tomorrow and Thursday. If you are within an hour drive, you get on the phone and get your fixed ops director here. I will guarantee that investment of their time will be well worth their 2 days here. The people that are going to be sharing their strategies for fixed ops are really groundbreaking. How many of you advertise on cable TV or broadcast TV? A lot of you, right? Can someone tell me why we advertise on TV? We've always done it. Okay, that's great. We've always done it. We used to use Hagstrom maps too, right? Those of you who know what a Hagstrom map is. Why do we do television? That's a great answer. I was out in Montana and they were saying, man, these dealers are spending a ton of money on television and it almost compels me that I got to be there, but it's so costly. Does anybody feel that way sometimes? No, I'm not against television. But normally people tell me the reason why we invest in television is I can geo-target, I can maybe even demographically target, I can present a message that has passion and call to action and motion, and I can show vehicles, I can express my personality, and Tracy Myers can tell you, right? You could even wear a crazy hat. And people will remember you because you wear a crazy hat. But if you like television, I want to have you consider what you're doing for online television or online video, and your name in the front. What's your name? Hi, Nicole. You were interested about video, right? One of the biggest opportunities for boot camp attendees today will be to learn from AJ LeBlanc from Carmercial, from the Haystack guys, from the Dealer On guys, the people who are using video, the Dealer E guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I would say that 80% of the dealers I walk into who love television do not know how to do online video advertising. They have no clue on how to create video pre-roll campaigns. They have no clue the impact of video walkarounds. They don't understand what video could do in the BDC. How many dealers in this room, when someone sends in a lead, the BDC agent or the salesman sends a personal video response? 1, 2, 3. How's that working out for your store? Awesome. If anybody wants to see some of those examples, I've been recording some from clients. They should be part of your CRM process. But take a look at this. I'm going to show you a video here, and I'll put the speaker down.
So if you're considering a Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, or Nissan
That's just the internet speed.
Ultima, you got to check this one out.
Sound effects.
Crawford Douglas Volkswagen. Hey, I'm Ken Beam. Remember Motor Trend's car of the year last year, the VW Passat? Well, do you believe in deja vu? Because at Douglas, we do. Here's the all-new 2013 Passat. Let's review this one. Now, sitting inside this gorgeous Passat, the first thing you'll appreciate is the high-quality build materials throughout the cabin. It's very elegant, very sophisticated looking, and very well appointed, as you can see. Now, I happen to be sitting in the Passat SEL Premium version today, which includes these features. Push-start ignition. We have a remote start on the key fob, very nice feature. We have the RNS 510 touchscreen radio navigation system, which also includes the Fender Premium Sound System. Now, a nice feature on this stereo is this. Push the media button. You can select the CD or DVD option, or you can listen to music from the SD card, which is right here. Or you can download music from your CD onto the hard drive by selecting this button. You want to hook up your iPod, select the media device interface right here. Okay? And if you'd like to listen to music wirelessly through your Bluetooth, not a problem. Select it right here. Very nice feature. Now, we have partial leather 8-way power heated front seats. Both the driver and passenger are power seats, right? Now, a nice feature on these seats, you have power lumbar support, not only on the driver's side seat, but also on the passenger seat. And let me tell you, coming somebody has a very bad back. I have 3 major back surgeries. I assure you, I certainly appreciate driving a car. It's very accommodating on long drives. And having that feature, that power lumbar support on your lower back, is a huge difference, right? Also, on the driver's side seat, you have memory settings for 3 individual drivers, right? You have a backup camera. Parking, very nice. Now, we also have a 6-speed shiftable sport automatic transmission, DSG, direct shift gearbox. You can put it in drive, or throw the shifter right, you can shift on a fly, minus the clutch. Check out this beautiful deep, rich burled walnut trim. The center console above the glove box and the door panels really accents the interior of this Passat very nicely. We have a leather-wrapped, multi-function, tilt telescopic wheel, right? I'm over 6 feet tall. Got pretty long legs. Plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom, even with the moonroof. Folks, if you're in the market for a luxurious, mid-sized family sedan, do yourself a favor. Come on down to Douglas and check out the all-new 2013 Passat. You'll fall in love with it. Now let's check out the second row seats of the Passat, right? Very roomy, very spacious back here. I'm a little over 6 feet tall. Got pretty.
I think you get the idea. This video sold the car in my family this month. Someone was thinking about a couple different vehicles. They saw the VW Passat. I sent them that video and said, okay, I'm going up to Douglas to buy it. Ladies and gentlemen, video is the most impactful online digital media source. Google research shows that video is one of the most influential ways to get someone, listen to me, to come to your dealership, to walk in as a showroom up. Video. So how many of you in the room are using video pre-roll to advertise and dominate your online market? That's what I thought. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking to move things to the next level. Video pre-roll is fantastic. Here's a group in Louisville. One thing I liked about this video pre-roll, this is very targeted, and Patty Swope is the face of this dealership group in Louisville. The thing that I liked the most was it drove, in this particular case, 764 people to come to the website at a cost to $1.78 a click. Now, I don't know if any of you understand that number, whether it's good or bad, but that's a really good number. You know why that's a really good number? A banner ad normally costs between $2 and $3. A banner ad, which is one-dimensional. So, listen to what happened. 74,000 times this video started. 12,904 people actually viewed it. 8,400 were unique, and 764 clicked. But here's what I like about online. This video could be targeted to people who are in the market. This video could be targeted to people who visited her website and looked at an Accord. So, behavioral targeting, or people who looked at a particular vehicle on that site. But the way I look at it, if you subtract the 764 people who clicked and went to the dealership website, let's just round it off, 12,000 people viewed and did nothing. to me, the way that math works is those 12,000 people got my message for free. Because I would spend $1.78 all day long to get 764 people to come to my website after listening to a 15-second commercial. I'd pay that. You pay more than that on a stupid little ad. So the fact that 12,000 people heard Patty Swope, her message, her call to action, and her promise about being a dealership in that community for a long time for free, isn't that something to consider? If you believe in television and radio for branding and brand awareness, why aren't we investing in video? So we have some great workshops on video. AJ LeBlanc is going to be talking about Rick Case, which is the one of the top Honda dealers in the country. Me and Ken Beam, the crazy guy who jumped with the birds chirping, we're going to be talking about video marketing strategies. And Ohad from Google is going to be talking about YouTube advertising strategies. So a lot of great opportunities for people in video. We don't have a workshop on this, but I wanted to mention this. How many people advertise on radio? We're on radio. Okay, maybe half of you. How many of you are on digital radio like Pandora? 2, 3, okay? So it's really important, if you are going to leave this boot camp with some life-changing strategies, I want to challenge you to consider Pandora. Now, is Dan Moore here? Is Dan Moore in the Dan, how many years ago did you tell me about Pandora Radio, Dan? When? Over 3 years ago, right? Dan Moore came to me and said, Brian, I'm working with Pandora, and we're really doing some pilots in automotive. Seems to be really working. Why don't you get you involved? And I'm like, what's Pandora? I didn't even know what Pandora was. And he says, oh, it's this digital, radio. I'm like, yeah, I don't know anybody who's using it. So, great idea, Dan. And just, did nothing with it. Well, how many people use Pandora in the room? Holy shit. And guess what? None of you are advertising those people. Gee, how odd. Here's an example of what happens. So the nice thing about Pandora, and PCG is an authorized Pandora agent, the advertisements don't come very often. Do you agree, Pandora? Maybe it's every 5 songs or 8 songs. And if it's done properly, it really can be quite cool. I hate people who use Pandora as traditional radio. I've found too many agencies taking a radio ad and putting it on Pandora. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do that, you will absolutely fail, because it's a different audience. And what other benefit do people have when listening to an ad on Pandora? Does anybody want to share that? What's the advantage of Pandora, even though it's still a branding audio message? They can click to your website. And guess what? They click a lot. How about thousands of times a month? How about thousands of times? Well, Brian, we only get 4,000 people to our website. I mean, you're telling me I could get a lot more traffic? Because I'm not getting a lot of traffic from my WKTZ ad. So here's what happens. So when someone's watching or listening to music, the banner comes up, and let's see if we can play Patty's message here.
Hi, this is Patty Swope. Pardon the brief interruption, but did you know that Sam Swope has made it easy to drive a new car?
Let's see if we can start from the beginning here.
Hi, this is Patty Swope. Pardon the brief interruption, but did you know that Sam Swope has made it easy to drive a new car this month? I believe that Pandora listeners need reliable, safe, and affordable vehicles. So, isn't it time to upgrade your ride? Is your lease ending soon? Getting a new car now. You'll get top dollar on your trade-in, so what are you waiting for? Thousands of cars are ready for you at www.samswope.com/Pandora. Click to view this month's offers, which will be music to your ears.
Okay. So, call to action. We made a special landing page, even in the audio track, samswope.com/Pandora. Banner goes to that page. It addresses them as a Pandora customer. But notice how she said, pardon the interruption. A soft play. There's all sorts of little tricks to play into that. I want to encourage you to consider Pandora Radio. How many of you think that you have a strong mobile marketing strategy? Strong. Say, we're really good at mobile marketing. One? Okay. How many would like to have a strong mobile marketing strategy? Okay, now the people who didn't answer, you probably need a drink and dozing off, or you're insane. Today, in the USA Today, I don't know if you saw it, but this was a cute little survey. How often is your cell phone within arm's reach? 52% said always, most of the time. Ladies and gentlemen, would you like to market to a device that on average is 82% of the time connected to a consumer who needs a car? A couple things that you should do if you are taking some notes. How many of you have a collision shop? Collision shop. We have a collision center. Do me a favor. Go back home and type in collision center and body shop on your mobile device. And I bet 80% of you will not have a paid ad running. It's one of the best paid advertisements. When somebody is typing in that word, what just happened to them? They got in a bump, a wreck. Obviously, if they're in a hospital, they're not, texting. If it was life-threatening. Common service searches. I know Dealer On is here, and they have service microsites, Dealer E, service microsites. Talk to these guys about how effective service paid AdWords campaigns are. When someone types in oil change, do you think that they're bored driving around on their mobile device? Or Toyota tires, or discount Toyota tires, or Toyota batteries? Do you think that they're just bored driving around their car and say, well, let me just guess on some searches? People who are doing searches on mobile devices are ready to take action. And the cool thing is we have some great workshops on mobile. So we have Ben Anderson, Paul Sansone is going to be talking about how to use your mobile device to generate a referral network. And Ed Lewis talking about service and retention using mobile apps. So how many of you have dealership mobile apps? We have dealership mobile apps? Great, great. So a lot of people have them. Question is, how are they working? Lastly, I wanted to talk about this idea of blending traditional and digital. I am not against traditional advertising. I was just in Billings, Montana for a week, and the Billings Gazette is actually quite an influential newspaper because the town of Billings has 100,000 people during the week and around 300,000 people on the weekend. Now think about that. What is happening? Well, basically there's a lot of people who live in the mountains or outside the city. They're coming in on the weekends for their goods, right? Right? That's right. So the newspaper is one of those things that they get delivered to their homes, and the advertisements still, and people are walking in today with advertisements. So for you or me as a digital strategist to walk into a dealership and say, don't do newspaper, in Montana, that may not be a very smart decision. But in other markets, newspaper is losing its effectiveness because there's too many newspapers and too much competition. In Billings, Montana, there's no competition. There's one newspaper. Their website gets 500,000 unique visitors a month. There's some very compelling reasons to have a traditional advertising budget. My goal is to maximize every dollar spent. And to that degree, we have Troy Spring, Peter Mayali, and Michael Sauce talking about how to use traditional marketing, the blending between traditional and digital, and how big data can show us how to leverage our advertising investments most properly. Social media. How many people feel they're doing a great job with social media? Okay, right? Not many. Okay, so let me ask you a question. How many people honestly think that social media doesn't sell cars? We don't do a lot with social media because it's kind of a waste of time. All right, so we have some liars in the room. Okay, I know it's a digital conference. You can say that. But if we're not doing social media, and very few of you said you were doing it well, but everyone believed that it will help sell cars, then we have a disconnect, right? So there's some broken piece. Because there was only 6 people who said they were doing it well, and everyone here said it was helping sell more cars, so something's broken. So what is the challenge today with social media? Anybody want to tell me why these 2 answers do not make any sense? If we believe it will sell more cars, but yet only 6 people are doing it well, big opportunity, what's holding us back? In the back. So it takes too much time. So basically, there's not enough funding to do it right. Okay? Anything else? Okay. So, but are you saying that since it isn't an instant lead generator, it gets pushed down in importance? Okay, not in your dealership. Okay. What are the struggles we're having with social? Okay, so what should be the strategy? How much we should budget for? How many people are spending more than $1,000 a month on social media? Okay, okay. I walked into a dealership the other day, true story, in New Jersey, and there was tables set up with balloons, all card tables. The showroom floor was cleared. It was like Charlie Brown's Christmas party. No one was there. And the dealer principal wasn't in that showroom. They happened to have 2 brands. I went into the other building. I said, what's going on next door? And he said, don't bring that up. Oh, come on, what's going on? He said, that's the $25,000 mailer that didn't work. You know what went through my head? Dealers across the country, I work with their internet departments, their social media managers, they're begging for $500 a month. They're begging for $1,000 a month. Yet, somebody comes in, slick salesman, gets someone to spend $25,000 on a whim, and it fails, and yet probably 3 months from now, they'll do another direct mail piece and maybe have similar results. Anybody agree with that? Anybody say that that could happen at my dealership? That's right. So what is the disconnect? Well, there's some conversations on social here with J.D. Rucker, Facebook advertising, so I'll be talking, and if did Jim Flint drop in yet? Hey, Jim. So Jim and I talked about this the other day in a webinar. We'll be talking about this again. Facebook advertising. I would say that today Facebook has morphed. Somebody said in a tweet, and a couple people in our industry retweeted it, it's like social media is not about advertising. And you know what? That used to be the case. But the fact that 50% of automobile owners in the United States are now mapped on a social media platform that I can directly target, would someone else disagree? I was like, I vehemently disagree with that statement because it just continually doesn't want the evolution of social media to eventually happen. As social media is a balance between engagement and advertising, especially with these new tools, and we have some 3 workshops on that. So here's our ecosystem. The real question for you is, are you willing to make a change? Starting tomorrow morning, the 15th of May, 2013, I just went through the things that your dealership should be engaged with, should be passionate about, should be willing to adapt and change. I am serious for the dealers here who are Philly-based. If you are underfunding or underutilizing digital for fixed ops, get your people here. If you have a social media department that's lost, looking for direction, or looking for new ways to engage, if you're really interested on how to use Facebook and Polk data to sell more cars and to fill your service drive, get your people here tomorrow. But the question here is this. The next 2 days will be filled with workshops from industry experts who are not here to pitch. They're here to educate you. We have dealer principals here. We have service directors here. We have internet directors here that are working in dealerships ready to share and help. The question is, are you willing to make a commitment to open your minds and make a change? So, for those of you who are willing to make a change this week at boot camp, would you stand up? Who's willing to make a change? Who's willing to make a change at their dealership? Give yourself a big hand. Let's make it a great week here at boot camp.